Okay guys, here's a review of what we did in class today. We're going to talk about resizing the image, recoloring the image, and saving as with Photoshop. Okay, I have three images over here on my desktop, and I'm just going to open the smallest one first. You can right click and do open with Photoshop, or when you're within Photoshop, of course, you can always go to File and Open. Okay, so I have an image here, and first thing I'm going to do is check the size. Most of the functions you're going to be doing here for class is going to be within the image file menu. That's up here. We're going to check image size. Up at the top here tells you the pixel dimensions, it tells you the width, and I like to change these to pixels if they're in percentage. Pixels just is a little more accurate. And then over here you have centimeters, millimeters, points, so on, but we're just going to use inches. And it's just an average sized image. The main thing to look at is down here, the resolution. It's 180 pixels per inch. The web standard, anything you view on the web, no matter what, you can only see the optimal is 72 pixels per inch. So if I were to save this as a smaller image and I were to go down, I drop this to 72 resolution, you notice that the width of pixels and the height of pixels changes, but the inches and the height don't. You can always resample the image. So what that's doing is it's dropping the resolution and brings up the actual size of the image, but it doesn't add or subtract any pixels. Therefore, you're not going to get pixelation, which is the computer trying to add pixels or add data where it doesn't belong. I'm going to hit OK. And then immediately I'm going to go here to File, Save As. And here, Save As, you can tell it where you want it to be saved to. I'm just going to save it to the desktop for now. I'm going to rename this one Image 1 Resized. And then you can save it as a JPEG, although there's all sorts of file formats here. Other file formats that you could use would be a portable graphic here. This is a PNG or TIFF. We're just going to use JPEG. And the embedded color profile is fine. It's RGB. And that's what you see on the screen. Then the first time you save it, or do the Save As option, depending, you can choose the quality here. And notice this little number over here. This is going to tell you how big it's going to be. For your really, really large pixel width files, you're going to notice that this is probably going to be more like a megabyte size, but 632K is fairly small, and that's because we've downsized it to 72 dpi. Remember, the key is you don't want to make an image larger, you always want to make it smaller. So if you start with your largest image, you'll always be right on. So one last thing I'm going to show you here is I have a very big image, and to show you by contrast, I'm going to open this image up. Open with Photoshop. And you can see my little stopwatch goes for a minute. This is a large image. If I go to image size under image, you can see that the resolution, let's do pixels per inch, is 304.8, and it's a 5,000 pixel width image, and you can see the pixel dimensions here are much larger. I'm going to drop this down to 72, and I am going to allow it to resample the image. What you'll get is something that's a bit smaller. So once again, image size, let's check that out, and let's drop the size here to 10. And with resample checked and resolution at 72, we now have we've gotten rid of tons of pixels, and if I hit OK, you can see that the image has gotten a lot smaller. So this is an image now that's sized for the web. File, Save As, and I will do Image 2 Resized. Save it as a JPEG on the desktop. And the size here you can see is much smaller. It's only 219.9K. I can really bump that up Even that, it's under a megabyte. It's gonna be no problem loading onto Blackboard. Hit OK, and you can close this image, close Photoshop, and you're good. Okay guys, see you next class.